Chichén Itzá, a deserted city. In 1842, John Laidwood, Stephens, and Frederick Catherwood were traveling through the jungle in eastern Mexico. The two explorers had heard that an ancient city built by the native Maya people was somewhere nearby. Suddenly, they spotted a tall, pointed hill in the distance. As they walked closer, they realized the truth. The hill was an enormous crumbling pyramid covered with dirt and plants. They had found the 1,300-year-old city of Chichén Itzá. The city was new to Stephens and Catherwood, but the people who lived in the region had always known it was there. Most were descendants of the native Maya, who built the massive stone structures in the city. However, no Maya had lived in the city for over 400 years. The Maya Empire. Chichén Itzá is just one of the many large cities built by the Maya civilization, which lasted for 4,000 years. Their empire spread across the land that is now for 5 different countries: Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. People across this region spoke related languages and prayed to similar gods. In the 3rd century, they began building cities with giant stone temples and palaces. At first, the largest Maya cities were in what is now southern Mexico and Guatemala. By around the year 1000, the center of the Maya civilization had moved north to Yucatan Peninsula. Scientists think overpopulation, lack of rain, or war may be reasons for the move. Chichén Itzá's population grew, and the city became the largest and most powerful Maya empire. Today, Yucatan Peninsula is mostly jungles, forests, and farms. Just as it was long ago. There are only a few large cities in the region. The peninsula attracts many visitors who want to see cities built by the ancient Maya, but they go to Chichén Itzá for other sites like Umala and Coba. Vacationers who want to see Coba, who want to relax and bathe on the beach, visit Cancun, or the island of Cozumel, a monumental city. Chichén Itzá was one of the largest Maya cities ever. Luckily for some of the most interesting buildings survive. The most famous is a pyramid spotted by the Stephens and Catherwood in the 19th century. Known as El Castillo, Spanish for the castle, it has been restored to look much as it was when it was first built. Visitors can also see the Great Ball Court, but the Maya played an often violent game with the giant rebel bull. The city has many temples where Maya prizes lead ceremonies, and even an observatory where viewing the sun and the stars. Another important feature of the city was the sacred cenote. cenote. The Maya used the natural well as well as a place to make offerings to Cha, the rain god. Perhaps the most impressive thing about Chichén Itzá is how the Maya built the city. First, each limestone block was cut from the ground using only stone tools. Then workers carried blocks to the city and put them in place by hand. Because the Maya did not use wheels in transportation, they had no wagons to carry the stones. They didn't even have large animals like horses or oxen to drag heavy loads. These animals didn't arrive in the Americas until much later, when European explorers brought them. Workers completed the amazing carvings to the wall of Chichén Itzá with only stone tools as well. Maya workers may also have used sharper tools made of natural volcanic glass. The style of Chichén Itzá. Chichén Itzá was occupied from around 8450 to 1050. During that time, a variety of groups from the different places of the Maya Empire controlled the city. Architectural city styles changed over the years, affected by the city's rulers and its trading partners. Workers built earlier structures in the Puk style. The Puk region was located in the west of Chichén Itzá and Yucatan Peninsula, and its architecture was a strong influence of the city. More Puk buildings are low and flat, with horizontal lines. They are often plain at the bottom with the elaborate carvings near the top. During the 10th century, a group of people from Central Mexico conquered Chichén Itzá. Historians are unsure whether the conquerors were a non-Maya group called Toltec, or a group of Maya who had a strong connection to the Toltec culture. After this time, new structures included both Maya and Toltec features. For example, workers carved winged snakes and jaguars on many of the lighter buildings. Soon temples hold statues known as chakmols, resembling human figures that hold offering dishes on their stomachs. Many Maya Toltec structures was built in an early style hidden inside. People built a castillo, for example, on top of an older and smaller period. The Temple of the Warriors, with many of its columns, had an older structure within it. Maya science. The buildings of Chichén Itzá also revealed Maya people's understanding of astronomy and the seasons. El Castillo, from 4 staircases, each of which has 91 steps. If you count the platform at the top, there is a step for each day of the year. It indicates that the Maya carefully observed the patterns produced by the Earth's rotation around the Sun. Some scientists think the staircases may represent the 91 days separating the winter solstice, spring extenio, summer solstice, fall extenio. The solstices are the days when the sun is the farthest from the equator and closest to the equator. At equinox, the sun crosses the equator, making day and night the same length. The people of Chichén Itzá may have used shadows on the pyramid as a calendar for planting and harvesting. Visiting the city, today Chichén Itzá is more popular than ever with tourists. Over 1 million people visit the site each year. Visitors can enter there and explore many of the buildings, but some structures are off limits. For instance, visitors are no longer allowed to climb El Castillo. This rule helps protect the pyramid from the wear of the climber's feet, and it also protects tourists from a possible fall. Even though people can no longer climb the pyramid, there is still excitement for visitors. More than 1,000 years ago, the builders planned an amazing event that people can still enjoy today. Twice a year when the sun sets, its rays hit the edge of the pyramid, and the cast triangle shadows on one of the stairways. Slowly the shadows move down like a slithering serpent. At the bottom of the stairs, the serpent connects to a stone carving on the dry snake head. Every year, visitors can enjoy this ancient animation. More mysteries. While astrologers have learned many things about Chichén Itzá, it remains a city of mystery. What do the carvings on the wall of the Great Ball Court tell us about the game and the Maya culture? And when did the Maya culture? When did the most powerful era of the city's history end? And why did the Maya abandon Chichén Itzá in the 1400s? Today, historians continue to search for answers to these questions. Those who work at the sites are still unearthing the structures of the artifacts. There are many systems use items in the ruins that can reveal buried secrets about the history of Chichén Itzá.